So you watch movies, right? Obviously. Well, guess what? So do I. Big surprise there. So I have a list here of all my favorite movies that I watched for the very first time in 2022, and I'm gonna rank them for you. Okay, so here we are in the good old-fashioned tier list, and I think we got like 38 movies-ish. The tier list already comes with Barbarian preloaded in at S tier because it speaks for itself. It speaks for itself. Okay, so first things first, we gotta name these tiers. S. S is boring. We don't call it S tier. We call it as good, if not better, than Barbarian. That's not how you write Barbarian. Okay, A tier. A tier, still good. Not S tier, though. A tier is boring. Everybody knows what an A tier is. But do you know? Yeah, that's really nice tier. B tier? B tier, yeah. More like Brother Man tier. Oh, I had C and D are mixed up. Okay, that's not D. That's C tier, you idiot. And D tier is your grandma told me she likes it. Your grandma has pretty good taste in movies, I won't lie. The Kingsman. That was cool. I like that movie. It has a really nice oneer in it. Like a really big oneer in the church. I think that's in this movie. If that's not in this movie, I'm gonna look kinda stupid. Although Kingsman, whoa, that was raspy. Although Kingsman was a very good movie, I think I would put it in the B tier. I never go back on my decisions, and I certainly won't change any of the placements in this list ever. Dude, we don't even have to debate this, right? Like, Barbarian was the biggest surprise that I had in a movie watching experience this year. Because I watched the trailers for it, and I thought, hey, that looks like kind of a spooky movie. And then I watched the movie, and soiled myself. Barbarian surprised me in so many different ways with, like, performance, but also just sheer creativity. There are multiple times, I won't spoil anything for any of these movies, but there are multiple points throughout the film where I thought, where am I now? What am I watching? It's like a total switch up. The tone changes like so fast, so many times. One of my top movies that I saw this year, easily. Okay, next is The Lobster. I watched The Lobster like the 29th of December. So, like, really cutting it close. But I really enjoyed it. I had no idea what to expect with The Lobster. No idea. I had heard of it, but I had no idea what it was about. It was funny. The ending is so creative and leaves it up to interpretation, which doesn't always work out, but they did it really well. A tier worthy. Rio is our next movie. Rio was fun. Rio was a fun watch. I can't say I'm like huge into animated movies, but like when there's a good animated movie that comes out, you know, I'm gonna watch it. Rio definitely didn't come out in 2022, so I'm a little, maybe a lot late to the Rio train, but I thought it was good. Like it was enjoyable. It was cute. I liked it. Rio is a Brother Man tier. Blade Runner 2049. This movie surpassed all expectations. When it initially came out, I had heard, oh, only the people that like the original Blade Runner are gonna like this movie. There isn't gonna be a new audience for it. Let me tell you something that might turn some heads. Can't say I was the biggest fan of the original Blade Runner. I watched it. I was like, you know what? It's Blade Runner. That's cool. Years later, I watched Blade Runner 2049. I liked it so much better. So much better than the first one. again, I don't know how to put it into words, but like Blade Runner 2049 surpassed all expectations that I had for it. I thought it was so creative, and it, like, just the aesthetics of it just made me fall in love. For that reason, Blade Runner 2049 is as good as Barbarian. The hit movie of the year that everybody and their moms, specifically their moms, can't stop talking about. Top Gun Maverick. The movie that every time I wanted to see, what's new in Cineplex? Top Gun. Top Gun Maverick, like Blade Runner 2049. No, not like Blade Runner at all. I have never seen the original Top Gun. I was going with my family to a nice big theater, and we thought, hey, leather seats, surround sound. I think that's a good Top Gun. And it was. It thoroughly was. Top Gun Maverick. It was really cool. I thought that the way it was shot was really creative. I've never been a big Tom Cruise guy, but like Tom Cruise was cool in it. He was fly. Miles Teller. I love Miles Teller. He's the man. I'm not going to say that it was groundbreaking for me. It was enjoyable, though. It was very enjoyable. Yeah, that was really nice. Okay, next movie. We're just going to go up there, and okay, cool. Let's keep moving on. The Batman. I've been waiting for this movie for so long. Actually, no, I didn't know that it was coming out until it came out, but I'm a huge Batman fan, so like I adored it. I had just finished reading Frank Miller's The Dark Knight Returns comic book right before seeing this movie, and the monologue that Batman is doing throughout the entire comic book, the opening scene of the Batman while he's monologuing to himself with just crime, and he's just beating people, and it's raining, and it's a good movie. It's a top 5 movie for me, The Batman. I cannot wait to see what happens next with this Batman franchise. I love it. I love the grittiness of it. It's Batman. Need I say more? Onward was so much more than I thought it was going to be. It was one of those Disney releases that was like, oh, cool, they came out with another movie. Good to know. I didn't really expect to enjoy it, but I did. Like, I thoroughly enjoyed it. If I'm going to be completely honest, I may have cried. Just a little. I think I enjoyed it on the same level that I enjoyed something such as Rio. Okay, the next movie is the very last film in the Harry Potter franchise. And I'm not going to do these out of order, so I'm just going to put that to the bottom. And we'll do the Harry Potter movies in order. Dude, I had no idea what 1917 was about. I was so mad the year that it came out when it won Best Visual Effects over Avengers Endgame. I was like, what do you mean? They created Thanos. What are you talking about? Endgame did, not 1917. Thanos was not in 1917. But 1917 was like, everybody said, oh, it's all in one shot. And I was like, okay, cool, yeah. So they have like a lot of one-ers and they have like a lot of hidden cuts. That's cool. No, the whole movie, the entire film, there is never a cut. The fact that it was all in real time, I mean, like, they didn't actually do it in one take, but the fact that, like, everything happened as it would happen in real time is whack. That is crazy. I can't say I'm a huge fan of war movies, which is why I don't think it's an S tier, per se, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. For a war movie, probably the best one I've seen. Okay, the next film, cool. I don't think I need to say anything. Anybody that has seen Everything Everywhere All at Once knows that that's S tier. Okay, Run. I think this was a Netflix original film. I may be wrong. Run was cool. No, I had a request to watch Run like a while ago, and I just finally got to it. I don't remember it entirely. I wouldn't say it's one that necessarily sticks with you, but like the concept and the execution of it, I think were really cool. For that reason, it is a C tier. The 40-year-old virgin. Steve Carell. It's funny. It's not breaking any boundaries. It's not a technical marvel, but that is an A-tier funny movie. Rise of the Planet of the Apes. So this is a series that, obviously, again, I'm very late to the party. I was told that the visual effects for the Planet of the Apes movies were groundbreaking at the time, and they hold up. Like, I'm gonna be honest, they hold up. I was taken back by how realistic the monkeys looked, and I'm a monkey guy. Funky Monkey Friday is my favorite day of the week, followed secondly by Monkey Monday. Rise of the Planet of the Apes, I think that I enjoy it, the first one more than the second one, for the sole reason that it was very character driven on Caesar, and there was less war and more monkey. A-tier movie. The Village is a movie starring Joaquin Phoenix. Is it? I actually don't know if that's correct. I'm not going to check it. I'm not going to see if that's correct. The Village was really cool. My girlfriend and I watched The Village as sort of a research thing to try and help us get inspiration for a script that we're writing, that we're trying to shoot next year. Or I guess this summer. Oh, dude, that's soon. It's one of those movies that has a twist that you don't necessarily... It has a twist in it that is like, okay, I kind of saw that coming. That makes sense. And then another twist that's like, whoa. And for that reason, I think it's A tier. I think that having those last 10, 15 minutes of the movie elevate it from a B to an A. Okay, It Follows. This was the film that my girlfriend and I decided was going to be our Halloween classic this year. On Halloween, we had to pick one scary movie, and we figured It Follows was a good one to watch, because neither of us had seen it. It's a very creative concept. There were times in it that I was like, I'm a little bored. I mean, it was scary. Like, there were times where I was scared. There were other times that I figured it was a little underwhelming. Very creative, though. Like, it's something that I hadn't necessarily heard of. So it was really cool. I would put it as a C, though. CeeLo Green. Forget you. Judas and the Black Messiah. I had no idea. Still don't really know any of the historical context. I thought it was a really good movie. Like, I was engaged the whole time. Lakeith Stanfield, I believe that's his name. He's been in a lot of things that I've been watching recently, and I have grown more fond of him in every single watch. Like, I think he's in 2 or 3 movies on this list. He's so good. And then I'm watching Atlanta now, and Atlanta's so good. It's so funny. Judas and the Black Messiah, A-tier movie, dude. Yeah, so like many other movies on this list, I'm a little late to Goodfellas. Probably a good 30 years late. Again, another movie that I had heard good things about but had no idea what to expect. And I was amused. It subverted my expectations multiple times. Possibly the most iconic oneer in the whole world. The most iconic Steadicam shot in the whole world. You keep thinking, oh, it's going to stop, and it doesn't. And, oh, okay, yeah, this is where it's going to stop. It doesn't stop. And the guy goes downstairs, and he turns corners, and he's going through a kitchen, and he goes and they sit down at the table, and then he's whip panning, and oh my goodness. Incredible talent. For that reason, Goodfellas is at an A. Okay, so I don't necessarily remember what all of the Harry Potter movies look like. I know this one is Deathly Hallows Part 1. This one is the Goblet of Fire. That's number 4, right? If you guys don't have Letterboxd, you should get it. And you should follow me on it. And my top 4 is debatably the best top 4 in existence. So, the Goblet of Fire. The first one I watched the whole Harry Potter trilogy. I watched the Harry Potter series for the very first time this year, and it was really cool. I didn't think that I was going to be a big Harry Potter fan. I enjoy much more of the dueling and much more of like the high stakes Harry Potter world than just like the we're at magic school and there's a snake I have to kill. So I think that's why 1, 2, and 3 aren't in my list here. I think out of all of the ones that are here, which are like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, I think number 4 might be the lowest. I'm having troubles like actually remembering what happened in each movie because we watched them in succession, and so it's like things just happened, and I don't know what movie they happened in. But I remember thinking that the games in number 4 were really cool. And so for that reason, I think number 4 is going to be C, and they will go up from there. Order of the Phoenix. That was really cool. I am a sucker for like secret society type things, and so Order of the Phoenix was really awesome for me. I enjoyed it, and I have nothing more to say. B tier. So we have number 6, and if I'm remembering off the top of my head, this is the Half-Blood Prince. I'm gonna check that. Yes, the Half-Blood Prince. This one was really cool. I really like this. This gives more of a deep dive into who is Voldemort and why is Voldemort and why people won't say his name. This one is really cool. I felt like this one kind of gets lost in my memory of like remembering exactly what happened in it. For that reason, I'm gonna put it at B. Okay, The Menu. Hey, this is an actual 2022 release. Look at this. The Menu was really cool. I went into it with, I want to say high expectations, but high expectations of it being like this. I don't even know what, like I thought it was going to be like a really scary movie, and it wasn't a necessarily scary movie. It was more of a thriller, and it was more of like a take you on this ride and show you these crazy things that these people do, and like just the drive for perfection, and like it was done in a really creative way, and I loved the title cards in it that would separate the film. So yeah, the menu was an easy A tier for me. I don't think it was up to S. I think that it did fall flat in a couple areas, not many. Like I thoroughly enjoyed it. Upon rewatching The Menu, I think it is S tier. Titane, or as I've recently discovered, it's actually pronounced Titane because it's French. It was really cool. Like I watched Titane and Raw in the same night. That was wild. Titane is really creative in the way that it does all of its violence and its fight scenes. It is the strangest film I can confidently say that I've ever seen, but I loved it. I'm not a very big fan of gore, so there were some parts where I was like, didn't know if I could do it. I did it though. I did it, and it was great. It was a great movie. For that reason, it is an A-tier movie. Adam Sandler has been transforming himself as like just someone completely new. I think that the characters and the attitude of Uncut Gems wasn't necessarily my style. I'm not saying it's bad, but it wasn't my style. Hustle was my style though. Like Adam Sandler is so charismatic in it, and he's funny too at times. Like Adam Sandler is fantastic at being funny. Everybody knows this. But he delivers a really meaningful performance in it. And I love basketball. Basketball good, movie good, right? Like, yeah, that was a nice movie. This movie looked pretty, and I don't think it really has a ton else going for it. The colors in it were so beautiful, and the environment was so beautiful, and it was dark, and it was creepy. But it wasn't necessarily what I was looking for. I think it was very strange, and not in the intriguing way, in just a very strange way. I enjoyed it. That's why it's on this list. But this is definitely our first D tier. And honestly, I don't think your grandma would like it. Unless your grandma likes Hansel and Gretel, but just weird and cryptid. Okay, we're in our last row of films here. Jordan Peele's third movie. I love Jordan Peele. Jordan Peele is the man. This one was totally out of left field. I was not expecting a sci-fi blockbuster style film, but for what it is, it's really well done. Like Nope kept me interested. I was easily one of my favorite movies of 2022. It's B. I want to put it at A, but I feel like with Jordan Peele's catalog, it's my least favorite. I love all the movies, but it's probably at third. Okay, the next movie, Men. This is also another 2022 release. Whoo-wee, man. The first time I watched Men in theaters, I was scared to fall asleep. It freaked me out royally. I love horror. I cannot necessarily handle all the scares. Kind of a crybaby when it comes to some things. Men was like weird, though. It was creative. It was very creative. And the first time I watched it, I was like, this is fantastic. I need to show everyone. And then I showed everyone, and they really didn't like it, which made me think, you know what? Maybe it's not the greatest film. It was cool. Definitely loses its luster on rewatches, though. I believe Men is a C tier film. Okay, Smile was the second scariest movie I watched this year. Smile, another 2022 release. Very creative, like very cool. It's very similar in premise to It Follows, but where It Follows has dull moments and has places where I'm not necessarily interested in what the characters are doing, I was fully into it for the entirety of Smile. It is an A-tier movie. Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. I really enjoyed this. Like, I enjoyed it. Maybe not as much as I enjoyed the first one, because this is more about the apes as a community as opposed to just Caesar. Still really cool though. Like, groundbreaking visual effects. Really cool. Funny too. Like, really funny at some points. It's B. So I know we get to this point and you're probably thinking, Owen, you said that these were the movies you watched for the very first time in 2022. You trying to tell me that you haven't seen Avatar until 2022? James Cameron's Avatar? And yes, I will tell you, yes. I'd never seen James Cameron's Avatar ever before. Until it came back into theaters, and I thought, you know what? Now is probably a better time than ever to watch it, because if I don't watch it in the theater, I'm probably not going to watch it anywhere. Obviously, everybody has sung the praises of Avatar since it released, but it's a cool movie, dude. That's an A. I don't know if it's an S for me. I wouldn't say that the genre of Avatar, whatever genre it is necessarily my favorite genre in the world. Yeah, it was cool. It was a really cool movie. I liked it. The Shape of Water, not to be confused with Avatar: The Way of Water, was very creative. It pulled me in and it kept me engaged for the whole thing. I think it's B. It wasn't necessarily my favorite thing in the world, but like, I'll give credit where credit's due. It's very creative. It's executed really well. The visual effects are really well done. It's a very creative story. Okay, we're on to the last 8 movies. So Little Miss Sunshine, listed on Netflix as a comedy movie, and I was very sad. Little Miss Sunshine was really good for what it is. I was expecting a comedy, and there are funny parts to it. Like, I won't lie, there are some very funny parts to it, but I was sorely mistaken. I won't say I was upset. I wasn't upset after finishing it. I was just taken back, because it made me feel more than it made me laugh. And that's not a bad thing. That's a very good thing that it has going for it. It makes you feel. I think it's a B. It's a B tier for me, solely because I went into it with expectations, and those expectations were not met. And that's not the movie's fault whatsoever. Okay, so Her is a movie that I have been wanting to watch because it felt like it would be a movie that I would just, like, adore. And I did. It packs, dude. And Joaquin Phoenix and Scarlett Johansson have such a good relationship in it. S. Okay, Raw, the second film that I watched along with Titane. Yeah, it was weird. That's something that both those movies have in common. They are strange films. I don't think I enjoyed Raw as much. It was one of those movies where it's like, I don't necessarily know what's happening, and I don't know if I'm enjoying the ride that I've been put on. It was disturbing and gory, and at points I felt like it was just a little too much of those things for me. I think Raw is a C tier movie for me. Not bad by any stretch of the imagination, just a little too much for me at times. I had no idea what The Departed was about. I knew that it had Matt Damon and Ben Affleck? Is that? It's Leonardo DiCaprio, not Ben Affleck. The movie took me on a ride. I didn't necessarily know what was happening the entire time, but that's just because I wasn't necessarily paying attention at some points. It's a movie that you have to be paying attention the whole time, or else you miss stuff, and then you go, who is that? It was cool though. The Departed is a very cool film. It's a brother man film. You heard it here first. Sorry to Bother You is another one starring Lakeith Stanfield. He knows how to deliver a giggle. It subverted every expectation that I had. I had no idea what I was watching 90% of the time. And unlike how that may not work for some films, it worked for this one. The just tomfoolery of it all. Yeah, Armie Hammer is a man, that's for sure. I think this is a B as well. Okay, the last two Harry Potter films. They are absolutely what I was looking for when I started watching the Harry Potter franchise, and that's fighting wizards and fighting wizards. I see them both as just one entity, and I think they both deserve to be A. Just because, yeah, they gave me everything I wanted. They give you the emotional drive of it, and they give you just like Harry Potter being a guy in the real world while dealing with being this wizard that has to save the wizarding world. And it was cool. I thoroughly enjoyed it. And now we have the very last film, the very last one that will round out this tier list. Okay, cool. We're done. The Shawshank Redemption is obviously not a new movie, but it's one that I had on my It's one that I had on my Netflix watch list for years, it felt like. And it was always like, oh, I've heard of this. I should watch it. And then I just never did. It's a top 5 for me of like favorite movies of all time. Like I don't even know what to say about it. It's creative, and Roger Deakins is a force to be reckoned with, man. It's really well done in what it is. It's simplistic in parts, but it tells such a good story, and the way that it's constructed. The ending is like so heartwarming, and that is one that if you have been putting off watching The Shawshank Redemption, now is the time to stop doing that and watch it. So here it is. 38 of my favorite films that I watched for the very first time in 2022. Let me know what I screwed up on, and let me know how much you hate it that I put Martin Scorsese in the B tier. Tell me what you watched in 2022. What were some of your favorite movies that you watched that you want to be on my list for 2023? Because I'm definitely not going to forget to do that. So let me know what you thought. Let me know if this is an idea that you want to continue. And thank you so much for watching. It means a lot if you stuck around this long. I don't know exactly how long this video is going to be. Probably really long. Please, if you wouldn't mind, drop a like on this video, leave a comment, subscribe to my channel. Trying to grow, trying to get out to the large community of filmmakers that are on this website we call youtube.com. And yeah, I want to grow a community, and I want to share all the knowledge that I've acquired with you guys and make some fun stuff like this. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.